Yeah. Jordan's in the house.
All right, let's go ahead and get started with part 2 of Building a Legacy Health Program. I am doing the show this week. On this episode will be by myself, my son Jordan. During the last episode, we had shared his arm. He raised up his arm and he had a little slight accident. He's wound up having to have surgery. The surgeries went well, but he's a little bit under the weather as he's recovering. He's going to join us in our next segment. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and continue to do this because we made a commitment. I began doing this legacy series because of my son. And we've already successfully done 5. We've already scheduled 25 episodes, and the show must go on because we have a mission. I'm dedicated to solving this problem and stuff. One of the things I picked up from the Gulf War was my sinus issues and stuff. So unfortunately, sometimes I'm always messing with my nose. It's part of being old and just part there. Anyway, we're going to get into building a legacy. So real quick, for those which may not understand what was going on, this whole program is a father-son podcast built with the understanding that we're trying to change things. And my mission is actually trying to help better prepare my sons and my grandsons for the future. Okay. And part of that is this concept of building of generational wealth. And this podcast is part of that. But part of it is beginning by us discussing men's health issues. Most men, and African-American men, or even most men, it's not African-American men, because because of this show and because of my Facebook website and everything else on my discussions concerning me being a prostate cancer survivor, I've actually had to share. And so I've had Latino men, I've had black men, I've had white men. It don't make a difference. We're all men, okay? And we've had this issue. So this kind of started out as a joke because on Father's Day in June this year, I sent a text message to my boys informing them of the fact that that my father had prostate cancer, their uncle had prostate cancer, and my grandfather on my grandfather's side, which is their great-grandfather, also had prostate cancer. And my youngest is 39, and the other one's up to 49, so I have 3 sons, and I also have 3 grandsons. And I wanted to make sure that they were aware that they had a high risk concerning prostate cancer. And specifically, I sent them a message, giving them a chart, explaining to them exactly what level they should be at on their PSA. And I asked them, what is their PSA? And when I asked them that question, they had no clue. Okay. And they really didn't connect. And I wanted to make sure. So last section, if you make sure you go back and look at episode 5, it went over. But what I'm going to do is to kind of bring everything together. I want to talk about how we realized and made the discussion about there were certain things. If you don't take care and you don't take responsibility of your health, you are on a railroad track that's going to be looking for a cure, and you're not going to find one when cancer hits you in the ass. And I'm sorry, that's exactly how I'm going to have to say it, because it's just like a Marine or just like the football coach in the field. When I was in the classroom, I couldn't use any explicatives whatsoever. But on that football field, I can hear that football coach saying, F you, F that, what the F were you doing, and everything else. On the Marine Corps boot camp and everything else, I heard F words all over the damn place. Okay, and sometimes maybe that's what needs to be done. If somebody had told me that, why don't you wake the F up, because otherwise cancer is going to bite you in the ass, then maybe I would have said, oh, whoa, man, wait a minute. Why are you doing that? I'm trying to get your attention. That's what I was trying to do. Okay. So very briefly, last time, I'm not going to go over everything, but I am going to go here on my little slide deck a little bit, at least I can. See if I can go backwards here real quick. But we wanted to go ahead and continue, and I'm seeing it's going to not cooperate with me up in here, and that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and go here. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm going to go back here because I want to go ahead and show. So what I did, very simple, was that I went over all of my blood work and everything else to let my son know exactly where I was at. and talking about before. And we got on this subject when I found out that I had prostate cancer in February of 2023. Then I also had diagnosed with high cholesterol and also high blood pressure. And all these things were at the same time that the doctor gave these to me. But not once, when he was speaking about cholesterol, did he talk about any of the causes or things that I can change. Okay. So for instance, he didn't talk to me about a lack of physical activity. In other words, like sitting on your butt and watching TV all the time. Okay. He didn't say anything to me about that. Okay. He didn't say anything when I first started looking at my stats about smoking. Well, I do remember them saying if you were smoking, you had to stop. But we had stopped smoking ever since like 2013 when my wife got cancer and the doctor scared the crap out of her because she had ovarian cancer and the doctor told her if she didn't stop smoking, she was going to die. And so she stopped. Okay, but that didn't help because the doctor forget one thing. If you stop smoking, you got to have a CT scan on your chest and your lungs for 10 years afterwards. The other thing is stress. Well, hey, I was in the Marine Corps. You think there was some stress there? Oh, wait a minute. I lost my mind at the age of 50 and became a high school math coach. You think that wasn't involved? Hey, wait a minute. I became a math high school teacher when the NCLB, the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001 came in that required me, that said that my bachelor's in mathematics from the United States Naval Academy was not enough and that I needed to also go ahead and get my master's, which means, hold up, wait a minute, to keep a job, I needed to go out and incur and get myself $37,000 in debt. That's what that meant. I needed to get myself in debt, $37,000 with a student loan to get a master's degree so that I could still keep teaching algebra in high school. Did I need masters in order to teach the algebra? No, I didn't. Do you think that gave me stress? Yeah, it did, because I got $37,000 of debt. Now, the next thing was talking about drinking. You think any young teachers was drinking? You think that? Yeah, I was drinking. Did my doctor tell me anything? Hell no, he didn't tell me. So anyway, I realized that I needed to take action, and that's why I am a wellness educator. But part of this program is building my relationship with my son, but also the first thing, my job as a father, I need to educate them. I need to tell them exactly how it is. Just like that same talk that most African-American men or women have with their kids that tells them and explains them how to be safe if they get pulled over by a cop. Okay. I respect law enforcement. But I don't respect law enforcement if they're looking at me as a black man in a car and you pulling me over for a traffic stop, because things change automatically. So anyway, unhealthy eating habits, okay? That's what causes too much saturated fat, and that's what raises the LDL, or the bad cholesterol. And how can you change things? You can change your lifestyle. One, you could start having a regular exercise program. Like right now, I do regular 30 minutes of cardio every single day. Ideally, we try to do that, but at least 6 days a week. Okay. I do not smoke. Okay. Stress. I get rid of all the toxic ass people out of my life. Okay. If you can't live right and everything else. And I'm not two-facing people anymore. Okay. In other words, being a teacher, I had to keep my mouth shut a lot of times. That caused a lot of undue stress. There were things I couldn't tell a parent. There were things that I couldn't tell a student, like sit his ass down, okay? Because if I used those type of words, that was going to cause me to lose my job. High school teachers overall are up under a lot of stress, okay? So, but how do you combat that, okay? Drinking is not a solution, okay? That's not a solution. So I want to kind of share that with you as we go here. So now let's go back on things I did. So my triglycerides, look at the chart here. I share it with my son. It's supposed to be up under 149. And I'm showing here from 2006, under 149, 2006 to 2015, for 9 years, while I had the doctor and I'm going in and getting the test done, the doctor sees that my triglycerides are out of whack. He never once, not once during that time point, that my doctor give me other alternative solutions about how to lower my triglycerides. No, not once whatsoever. Okay. Finally, after a while, they change doctors and stuff, and then their solution is, oh, well, let me go ahead and put you on a prescription. Yeah, I'll give you statin. That's what their choice was. Okay, so I showed it to them. Now, here, I decided to take things into my own hands and proactive, and I'm showing here what happened, and this is using Peak Performance. I use supplements from my wellness company. I won't go anywhere without my wellness company. I trust them because I look at the results. So my triglycerides that's supposed to be under 149 were all out of whack. But now if you look at the little scale here, in June and everything else, I went all the way down to 40. I went from nearly 200 down to 40, a 40% increase on my triglycerides. Next thing I did was show my cholesterol. My cholesterol had been as high as 224. It actually been, 254. It was actually 254. But as of March, my cholesterol is now down to, my cholesterol was in March was at 139, but now it's even got better because when I did my Peak Performance, I started on this vitamin supplement thing. I'm at 128. My HDL is supposed to be greater than 40, and it had been, but there was times when it was getting all whacked. Okay, so it needs to be greater than 40 and everything else. And in March, mine had started to go in the other way, it started to go the wrong way. But now I've shown a 20% increase on it. So again, everything across the board. Here's my LDL before my supplements. This is after my supplements, 24% increase. This is my cholesterol slash HDL, which is this ratio under 3.9. And here it is, a 22% increase for Peak Performance. And the same thing and same thing and same thing. Okay. Even now, my testosterone, I am 71 years old. And because of the supplements I've taken, because of the supplements and my lifestyle changes, it is now improved by 40%. It's supposed to be going down. My testosterone. So what does that mean? I tell you what that is. That's called a quality of life. I don't need a blue pill because my stuff and my junk is working all right because I'm exercising. I'm doing weight training, I'm exercising, I'm eating right, I'm taking the right supplements, I got the right energy. You can tell from my voice right now, I'm still full of energy. It's in the afternoon. I've been up since 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm still rolling around. Still rolling. Okay. Next, I even look at creatine. Creatine is important to look at as far as your kidney function. Okay. As a result, I've made improvements on that. So that was a review going back over episode 5. You can go ahead and watch that to go more. But now let's go ahead and continue it out. So after I found out how to understand my numbers and what those values are, I no longer go to the doctor and have the doctor tell me about my blood work. No, I send a message to my doctor, and I have Kaiser Permanente, and I send a message to my doctor telling him to order my blood work. And when the blood work comes in, I don't depend on my doctor telling me whether it's right or wrong. I look at my numbers. So one of the things recently, everything else, so I've looked at my high blood pressure. I got that under control. My cholesterol, I got under control. My diabetes, my A1C is down to the lowest that it's been in 17 years. Okay. That I am no longer in pre-diabetic. I have good blood sugar and everything else. The other thing I want to make sure is concerning kidney. Now, here's the thing. For kidney, the problem with the kidney failure is that if you're diabetic, so guess what? I'm not diabetic and not going there, so I have a less chance of kidney failure. Blood pressure, I'm reducing. My blood pressure has been reduced. I am taking supplements and everything else to make sure that my heart disease and vascular disease are today. So I am aware of what those are. And one of the things also, guess what, concerning kidney was a function of my prostate. So having prostate cancer can cause problems concerning kidney disease or kidney stones or tumors. So it's important that I understand. See, it's not just one thing. They all are interconnected. So lifestyle, environment factors, those are the things. Stop the alcohol, get your weight down, reduce all the sodium, everything else. Stop smoking. Don't use a whole bunch of ibuprofen and stuff. Stay away from the chemo. And I personally have decided if chemo comes away and I go into the doctor, he tells me stage 4, I'm not going through that chemo. I'm at the point right now, I'm 71 years old, so I want to have my quality of life. But as long as I'm doing these lifestyle changes, I am preventing those problems. Okay. Dehydration. I have to go ahead. I love here. I make shakes. Everything. Me and my wife right now, my love of my life. The reason I'm here today is because she loves me to death and gives me support and stuff. But we are on a health kick. I'm 71 and she's a little bit older than me. Okay. But we both do not look our age. But the other thing is that, we take care of ourselves. So every day around noon and everything else, I'm making a smoothie. And what's in it? Spinach and kale and strawberries and banana and protein and collagen, all the good stuff, and cranberry juice, all those good things up in there. Okay. And I do that every day. That's just part of my regular life now. So prevention and risk. I'm going to control my blood sugar. I'm going to stay hydrated. I'm going to limit the salt. I'm going to exercise regular. I'm going to avoid unnecessary medications or supplements that strain my kidneys, stop smoking, reduce the alcohol. And I'm going to have regular blood and urine tests. Regular blood and urine tests. No more, at least every 6 months, but at least basically on an annual basis to make sure I do that. So I do all those things so that I can be prepared and understand those things. So I understand fully how to lower. Now, these were my main health concerns: prostate cancer, blood pressure, high cholesterol, PTSD from a service connected. I had problems sleeping, sinusitis, which I said, hey, I'm up there always messing with my nose because I am allergic to everything after being in the Gulf War. Okay. The other thing is squamous cell cancer. I had that skin cell. Okay. You think being out in that sun is all good? No, you need to understand about doing some vitamin D tablets. D3. Okay. So here we go. We want to be, and I know I'm getting a little excited here, is proactive steps for a preventive measures. Okay. It's just like if you have a car and you buy it brand new and you drive it off the lot. If you just drive it every day without doing a damn thing, you're going to have problems. But most of us, you realize after you get older and everything else, that what you want to do is take care of it. So every 3,000 miles, it says, I think it's like every 5,000 miles, I want to have an oil change. Well, guess what? I don't even drive 5,000 miles in a year. But you do know that I go ahead and get my oil change in my car at least twice a year. Yes, I do. So proactive prevention saves you money. So here's one of the ways that you can do it. I'm actually teamed up with a relationship, and I'll provide you the links and everything else. But one of the ways, if you have insurance, you can go to your regular healthcare doctor and ask them for the screenings and stuff. But some screenings they won't do. Okay. And one thing during my last trip, I found out that there was something else in the pathology report when I had my MRI. That when I did it, that the doctors put in my medical record, but didn't tell me. Oh, no, they didn't. Yes, that's right. They didn't again. So one of the ways you can do that is go through Lifeline screening. So are you at risk? What you got to do is get screened. You get screened for stroke and cardiovascular disease risk. Okay. So that opportunity there, I have a link for you to go ahead and use. When I do the report and everything else and do the final, you'll see the screen. So you can probably see it. If it's on the screen here, fine. Otherwise, it will be at the end. But I highly recommend that you go to Lifeline and actually get yourself a screening. They do multiple tests and everything else. It's quick and easy. It's not invasive versus using ultrasounds to go ahead and check. Here are the 4 different types of screenings that they do. They do the artery disease. They do the abdominal aorta. They also do the peripheral arterial disease, and they also check for atrial fibrillation. Okay, so go ahead and get yourself screening. This is a wise choice to do in order to help your health prevent it. So one of the things when I got diagnosed with prostate cancer was I got my doctor, my oncologist recommended I get this book. And this is a book about prostate cancer prevention. But no, I didn't hear about the damn book until after I get prostate cancer. So again, I'm educating my boys. Why? Because they have a high risk of prostate cancer. So I got this book. I started reading it and everything else. And there were things when it got to the food section, I said, oh my God, you mean I got to stop doing that? Oh man, you mean I got to stop doing that? Oh man, I'm getting rid of stuff that I just loved. I've been raised on all my life. And now you told me, still the good question, do you want to live? So, yay. So I decided yes. So I had to make the change. And after you do it after 21 days, it's a new habit. I remember all the years and everything else. In the words that I didn't smoke cigarettes until I was 22 years old. So what the heck did I do the previous 22 years? Guess what? I didn't drink alcohol for the first 22 years of my life, virtually. So how was it that it stopped? There have been years that I just stopped. So it's no problem. Okay. So anyway, so I started reading everything. One of the things I started talking about my gut. Okay. Bacteria do have a bad reputation, but many people believe that all they do is cause infections and illness. But some bacteria are actually good for you. And this is the bacteria called probiotics, which means it says, hey, I need probiotics. I started reading more. Then he says probiotics. Yes, you need probiotic supplements, reduce the risk of diarrhea while taking antibiotics. It says probiotics causes no serious side effects. It's telling you probiotics. It says yogurt. And now it tells me vitamin E to help not to have any problems with Alzheimer's. Eating more foods containing potassium is telling me this. Okay. Reducing my salt, it tells me. It says when I do eat beef, make sure I eat with natural grass-fed animals only. Okay. And I started reading all these things, and it kept on doing, and I kept on taking notes. It said vitamin C, vitamin E, mango, fiber, soluble fiber, lowering your cholesterol level. I saw all these things, and as a result, I did lifestyle changes. Stopped smoking, started exercising, doing the right diet, maintaining my health. My weight, I lost 23 pounds. Doing high-performing supplements I'm taking all the time. I'm drinking 72 ounces of water and liquid in my body. I'm putting fiber, protein, fruits, and vegetables, and my little smoothies in there. That's keeping me ticking. That's what I'm doing. So, next thing is that it also recommended supplements. So it said, but I also had to realize that, that all vitamins are not the same. That was the first time I heard of it. But my doctor recommended it, so I started taking it. And it was $65. It was on Amazon. $65 for 120 tablets. First, I saw $65. See, I was only used to doing these one-a-day vitamins, something that's costing $10, $15, and now I want to pay $65. I said, you got to be kidding me. It's outrageous. I won't do that. But then I realized, do you want to live? And I decided, yeah. So I guess I'll spend $65 on that and find something else I don't have to pay money on. So I did. So I got it. Started taking it. Then they also had one for prostate. So I started taking that. But I was taking these. Okay. But then when I was taking them, I started developing other problems, uric acid stones inside my bladder because it wasn't going. And I was also having to take Flomax, a prescription drug. So I'm taking the prescription and I'm also taking this, but why? Something's not working. Okay. So I began researching in comparison. Things became too complicated with the choice. See, because I wasn't getting the results. So I started reading up about things, and I had been buying products from a company called Melaleuca for years. And I started buying them because of health reasons. One, it was just therapeutic. Also because I got my allergies and stuff in the Gulf War. I just can't have all these toxins and bleaches and stuff and cleaning. No, I stopped doing that. But anyway, I started taking them, and I've been a customer. But I had not been taking that Vitality Pack for a while. And then when I started researching, when I started looking at my numbers, I started doing research. And then what I would do, I would go, and I fell in love with the products even more because this website, it's like if you go to the grocery store and I want to get some vitamin D, you can go there. You can ask one of the one of the people that work in the store. They can point you to the aisle and tell you, well, here's the vitamin D. But there's nothing on there that tells you about it. Okay, nothing. Okay, but why do I go to a wellness company? Because the wellness company educates me concerning the supplements. It not only tells me what this does, it tells me why I need it. Okay, and it's up to me to do my own research to read, not necessarily accept somebody's thought or what they're saying. Oh, this is good. No, I'm done with that. Okay, I wanted to research. So in this case, the Peak Performance Vitamins was set up, and this thing had 4 studies. First, they did a study in Freiburg, Germany. Okay. And that came back positive. Then they did the same thing, but then they did one here in the United States. Same results. Then they did what they call a deprivation study. In other words, they put you on the vitamins and then you stopped. And then they tested you and saw what happened after you stopped. Well, it's just like anything else. If you're exercising and you stop, if you're on a diet and you stop, you're going to go back to exactly where you were at before. Okay? You're going to go back. So I saw that. And then they also did one on health. So I said, hey, this stuff is backed by science. And I said, this is what I need. So what I started doing then, when I saw my high cholesterol and my blood pressure, and then I got faced with the prostate cancer, my prostate, and my PSA was not going all the way down, I decided I got to start doing something. So I decided to go all in, and I started taking these supplements. And as a result, the results I've already showed you what happened. Peak performance is the reason why all of my numbers are in order at this time for someone of my age. And matter of fact, beyond that, my resting heart rate right now, I'm 71 years old, is lower than my sons, which are in their 39s and 40s. How did that happen? Because I'm doing stuff right. Okay. So if you want to live a little bit longer, I suggest you join my team. So this is what I found out. See, I started trusting the products because I had been a customer for over 30 years. And I discovered that their patent, the reason they work better is because they had this patent called Allego. And very short, what it does is this, okay? Not all vitamins are the same. And I give you an example. I used to take vitamins that was on the shelf, and I would take them, and I would go to the bathroom, and I would pee, and I would look at my pee, and guess what? It looked just like it was. I started taking the peak performance vitamins and started taking those. And then when I went to the bathroom to pee, I saw something different. I mean, it was like my piss was glowing. And I'm saying, what the heck? But then I started researching, and guess what? If the pills don't dissolve and break down, it's impossible for it to get into your body to do what it needs to do. So if you're taking supplements and your pee is exactly the same as it was before you started taking them, guess what? I'm giving you a heads up. It ain't working. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. So I began to read, learn, and discover. And then the more I did, the more I started use. See, this wellness company works like Costco, but better. Okay. So in this case, it costs you $19 to become a customer. You order directly from the company. They take your money. They ship the things to you. And that's how it works. Okay. And you want to do some little side income, all you got to do is refer people. But just like, for instance, when the lady who referred us to Costco and I paid my money to Costco and spent $500 or almost $6,000 that first year, that lady didn't receive a dime. Well, this wellness company, when I refer you to it or you refer someone else, you get a little piece of the pie. Now, that's what I like. Okay. So anyway, so I'll teach you how to do that. But the main thing I do as a customer, you become a customer with me, I'm going to show you how to get things for free. But the main thing is you are signing up, and this is priceless. Your $19 a year gives you access to a wellness education center that allows you to understand more about your body. So if you're afraid of you've got sore bones and everything else, the bones and joints are hurting, you can go and you click and you can learn about it. How about your muscles? How about your eyes? How about your skin? Okay. All this you can actually go ahead and check. So you only have one body. The question is you want to give yourself support. So it has different products, and I'm going to show you. These are products and stuff that I am actually currently using. And I've shown you what the prices and stuff that's on it. The stuff lasts a long time. So you have to look at cost. Don't look at price. Price is the first thing. The question is, how much is it costing you to use it throughout the whole time? I mean, I get this protein in a protein shake, and it's lasting me months. Okay. This is what I take, and the only thing I take for my prostate. My prostate has gone from 10 down to 0.1. Okay. It's not the same because I looked at the other stuff like anything else. Just having the saw palmetto is not enough in order to have good prostate health. You either take care of that prostate or suffer the consequences of having a rod that long and that big stuck up your butt and go ahead and piss out blood for about 3.5 months. I just have to be real with it and let you know exactly where it's at. So that's why I take it. Vigor. I don't have a blue pill. I take this, and this is what helped me personally for myself increase my testosterone by 40%. Yes, it did. So peak performance, they've got this thing organized down to science. Okay, so if you're a woman, young woman, you got one. If you're an older woman, over 50, you got one. If you're a young man, we got one. You worried about your heart, we got one. You worried about your brain, we got one. Okay. Now, I personally myself, I take the total peak performance for longevity. That's what I take. Okay. Mellow out. As again, I mentioned I was from the desert, from the Gulf War. I was having problems sleeping. Okay. I don't know what, sometimes when you get older, I was really having problems falling asleep and getting some good rest. And if you don't sleep right, you got a problem. Me and the wife, every night we have our regiment of things that we do. A half an hour before we go to bed, we take a little glass of magnesium. Research says magnesium helps you to relax and breathe easier so you can better manage your stress during the day. And with lowering your stress, it also helps you to sleep better at night. Then we also take this Resties. It's a pill that we take right before we go to sleep. It makes us go to sleep and sleep throughout the night. Works. Good Zymes. Again, good bacteria, you got to cleanse out your gut. Okay, there's a lot of crap in your gut. So if you change your lifestyle, you got to flux and detox. Okay, so I'm taking the Good Zymes. Good Zymes I take every day. Luminex, as again, I'm suffering from PTSD. In order to help my positive mood and outlook every day, I take the Luminex every day, in the morning and in the evening. I have a problem with high cholesterol. I don't like the statins that I have. So my cholesterol had dropped, but that was with the peak performance. Now Mel Luker, my company that I work with, the Vitality for Life in the little oak leaf there, also has this Pythomega. So now I'm taking that. And I can't wait for 6 months because I already know what's going to happen. I'm going to be off the statin, off that cholesterol medicine. And look at the price, $25. Renew. Here's the thing. Ladies, men, everything of all places. If you got problems with your skin, also, when I went to my dermatologist about my skin cancer, my doctor revealed something. He said the best thing you can do to maintain your health of your skin is to make sure it is properly moisturized, okay, with a moisture barrier. So if you want to prevent yourself from having skin cancer, if there's a problem, you need to have the right lotion. And this is more effective than CeraVe or anything else on the market. Okay, I have some pictures I could share, but I'm not going to go into it. When I actually had some wrong medication that was placed on it and actually destroyed me below the waist. Okay, this Renew was the stuff that brought me back to life. Okay, so that's the good stuff. You got to have the right lotions and stuff on you. There's your Resties, lotions, Renew. Next thing, Renew. Okay, there we go. Resties. Okay, Resties take charge. Why do you fall asleep? You need quality sleep. Adults need at least 7 hours of sleep each night, but an estimated 40% of Americans get less than that. So if you want to get sleep, everybody needs to get sleep, you need to have this product. Okay, and it has more than one thing. It doesn't just have melatonin. I had the stuff that had just melatonin. And guess what? It wasn't working, or it made us feel so groggy and everything else. Or in my case, I had PTSD. It put me in a deep REM sleep that still caused me to do nightmares and everything else. But when I started taking this, I started sleeping like a baby once again. Okay. So it doesn't just have melatonin in. It also has 4 other ingredients. Okay. This company has research centers that they paid millions and millions and millions of dollars on. So how do you get a hold of these products? You can only join. This is a private club. So what you have to do is actually become a member. Okay. So what I've done is I have created a men's health wellness Facebook page. Okay. Now I'm focusing on men, but Women can actually take a look at it too, because everything I get on there is applying for that. The only thing is really especially for men when I start talking about prostate cancer or issues and stuff. But mainly, I'm providing you with good, free information, and it costs you nothing. Anything else, all you do is go ahead. So if you type in on your Facebook and go to Factory Reset for Men's Health, you can go, just type in Factory Reset for Men's Health, and you'll find my page. Otherwise, you're going to look for me, Dr. Jordan B. Smith Jr., wellness educator. That's what I am. Also, I have another Facebook page, and this Facebook page is on Teach, Lead, and Inspire. This is where I teach people how to teach, lead, and inspire. I help teachers who are still in school, educators and everything else, but I also do help teachers get rid of their student loan debt. Yeah, I have a system of getting rid of your student loan debt. In today's political climate, you better have a plan. Because that interest. And the other thing you better do is take out the calculator and figure out at the current interest rate and what you own, how long it's going to take. Okay. And so for a lot of people, $100,000 at the current interest rate, well, 6.5%, it's going to take, if you pay $1,000 a month, it's going to take you over 17 years. So I am a product advocate. Okay. So I run a wellness business. I find customers and I enroll customers. So I'm going to keep you informed about the products and provide you with excellent customer service. I'm not going to recruit you into network marketing. And so I'm not going to help you go and hunt down and sell something to your friends. This is not one of those things, and that's not what I'm offering. I'm offering you education about wellness products that can help you live longer and have an enjoyable life. I do welcome referrals, and I will enroll them as customers and provide them with excellent customer service as well. All customers must watch an overview presentation before enrolling as a member of the Melaleuca Online Wellness Store. And that is the company that I buy my products from, and the only one I do for my wellness products. Okay. So there are articles here that's named this company has been around, so it ain't going to go away. It's been in business since 1985. They're doing multi-billion dollars worth of sales each and every year, but also not all supplements are the same. And there's a research. So I'll show you the research. You can do it on your own. But when you're ready, come see me. And when you see me, I tell you the reason why. Because if you contact me, here's my cell number. You can send me a text message. And what I'm going to do is send you an enrollment form. But mainly what I like to do is send you a link so that we can get together on the Zoom. So I can go ahead and go through the enrollment process. I can show you how to order, how to set it up online. But the main thing that you want to get together with me is because I'm going to show you how to save money. I'm going to show you how to save money. I can actually show you how you can actually get your products that you need to purchase each and every month for free, and or be able to use them for tax deductions to reduce your taxable income. Did you hear me again? The reason you want to talk with me is because I'm going to show you how to save money. And I'm also going to show you, if you decide, I'm going to also show you how you can take what you're spending and make sure that you're getting your products and stuff for free. If you follow my simple directions. Okay. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Do you got information? Go to shopwellness.info/? Annapolis Creed is on right here on the scale. I think I probably put a little QR code up there for you. Or you can go directly, but again, you can't buy unless you have been invited or sponsored by someone. How much does it cost to get started? Right now, they have specials. The most is $19. Okay, $19 it actually costs to be enrolled. But you're going to pay $19, but they're going to give you $100 in products back, $20 each for the first 5 months. So this is a no-brainer. Okay, you can't lose any money. Okay, you need help with this, you need to come to me, because I will be your mentor. And also anytime you have questions, you can ask me and I can help you. And again, this is a no-risk opportunity. And I think that's almost bringing us here to the end, and it is. You have been watching Teach, Lead, and Inspire, the Legacy Series. 2 generations, 1 mission. When a Marine Corps dad and his Army veteran son sit down to talk life, legacy, and leadership, you know it's going to be real. This isn't just another podcast. It's a bridge between wisdom and action, between past lessons and future goals. Welcome to the conversation we all need, but few men ever get to have. Father, son, purpose, let's go. Thank you for watching.
compromise. Let me give you just a little advice. Love bears such a thin disguise. It should come at no surprise. Compromise. Once bitten, twice as shy. It's a case of roll the dice. So reach up in and compromise. Compromise. I don't think so. It's not a war you wanna fight. There ain't the way to put things right. It's not about who's keeping score. Let's talk about it, don't close the door. If you won't change, I won't change. And everything remains the same. And I won't play this losing game. Cause that's when love goes down the drain. Compromise. Let me give you just a little advice. Love wears such a thin disguise. It should come at no surprise.